Accidents happen when you least expect them. If you're ever in one, remember 3 simple steps.
Check for injuries. Call the police. Then call Cataldo's Collision.
Because Cataldo's Collision isn't just any body shop, they're auto body specialists.
At Cataldo's Collision, they work for you, not the insurance company.
From certified technicians to pickup and delivery service, they use modern technology to get you back on the road fast, with your car restored to like new.
Cataldo's Collision in Dubois. When it matters most, they do magic.
Mr. Mayor.
Call the meeting back into session. Coming out of the reconciliation at Wright's Theater, I think the mayor would like to say that we really thank Wright's Theater for putting their best foot forward. They did wonders for us. I'd like to thank the public for coming out, and Lisa for doing a great job, and congratulations to our newly sworn-in council. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, we're going to go into appointments, Part A, in our agenda. I believe we can do these through a motion to approve, but we need to do them one at a time. So we're going to need a motion to appoint a general solicitor. I'll entertain a motion, please.
Motion we appoint Salzman Hughes.
Second.
Mark and Bill make the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passed. Appointment of the special counsel, McNeese Wallace engagement letter, consolidation and labor. Looking for a motion to appoint special counsel.
So move.
Bill? Looking for a second. Dick, thank you very much. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Looking to appoint an engagement letter, a trial letter, Dylan McCandless, it's their engagement letter. Looking for a motion.
So move.
Bill?
Second.
Shirley? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Looking for a motion to approve Boschevich Law Enforcement engagement letter on zoning. Looking for that motion.
So move.
So move, Bill.
Second.
Second by Dick. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Appointment of the police chief, Chris Shelley.
Second that.
We need a motion to appoint Chris.
I make that motion.
Shirley makes that motion.
Second.
Bill?
Second.
Thank you very much. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Appointment of the agency open records office. That officer, that would be Lisa and Ben. Their primary is Lisa, the alternate is Ben. Looking for a motion to appoint them.
I'll make that motion.
Shirley makes it.
Second.
Mark seconds it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Appointment of local emergency management coordinator, Scott Farrell.
So move.
Looking for that. Who's
Second.
that? That was Mike. Bill
Hear the
second.
train coming?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
How's that training feel there? Run that baby through. Appointment of a vacancy.
Mike and Bill.
Oh, am I going
Which
too
one are you
fast?
questioning, Lisa?
No, but there were several of us that were also
Yeah.
attempting to
Down
make,
to EMA.
Which motion?
I didn't get it.
LEMC was Mike and Bill.
Mike and Bill.
Yeah, if you want to.
Thank you.
Tell me when.
Ready.
I'm on a roll here.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are.
Take a deep breath between a couple of things.
Appointment,
Suffocate.
appointment of vacancy chair. And I'm going to assume, Scott, this is for your assistant, maybe?
No.
Management?
No.
No. Vacancy chair is the position, much like at the township, where if there's a vacancy on council, so there's only 6 members, and you're split 3-3 on appointing a new member, the vacancy chair is the one that is the tiebreaker.
There you go. Thank you very much, Ben. Robert Wilson, looking for a motion to appoint him to the vacancy
So
chair.
moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved. Appointment of a floodplain administrator. Zach Lawhead, Tom Nowak as the alternate. Looking for a motion.
So move.
Second.
Second down,
Dick.
Dick, thank you very much. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Appointment of a building code officer, Zach Lawhead.
So move.
Bill?
Second.
Shirley? All those in favor say aye.
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 Approved. Appointment of a uniform construction code inspector, Penn Safe, and I believe we have a managerial agreement here. Ben, would you take that?
So we asked for an agreement, and I believe we have it,
I have.
but we didn't get it in time to put it in your packet, so we're asking for the motion to be to appoint PennSafe and authorize the manager to enter into an agreement with them.
Do we have any questions on letting the manager authorize that agreement? Any questions on that?
You just put that in our packet for Wednesday night then, right? The letter,
Just-
and
yeah.
that way we have it.
That would be a point of interest, right? We can take
That's
that.
I mean, for that matter, we could go get it, I guess.
I'll make that motion, or we already motioned it.
Dick makes the motion,
Second.
seconded by Bill. Questions on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Appointment of the LST EIT Tax Collection Group, which is the Keystone Collection Group. Questions on that?
So moved.
For a motion, that would be Mike.
Second.
Second,
Mark.
Mark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Taking a breath here just for a second. Appointment of the city engineer, and I believe we want to postpone that till February. Ben?
Right, so that would normally be something you would do at your reorganizational meeting, however, I did not get the advertisement out in time, or the bid packets received in time in order to interview anyone, so we're asking to push that out. So a motion to postpone.
Do we need a motion to postpone that?
Motion to
Please.
postpone?
Second.
Mark, second by Bill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Postpone till February 11th. Appointment of sewage enforcement officers, Hess and Fisher Engineers.
So this would be like the PennSafe one, we're asking for a motion to appoint them, but enable the manager to enter in an agreement. We did not, got that one yet?
I did not receive that one yet. They're waiting on their fee schedule, so,
Is this Hess and Fisher of Clearfield?
yes. Same one that the township's used for the past few years.
I thought so, just wanted to make sure.
Do we have a motion on that?
I'll make the motion.
Bill, second by Mike. Thank you, Mike. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Appointment of the pension plan chief administrator and the officer, that will be the city manager. At this time, that would be Lisa. Looking for a motion to appoint Lisa as the pension plan chief administrative officer.
I'll make that motion.
Shirley,
Second.
second at the end of the table by Mark. Thank you very much. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Turn the page. Thank you very much. And we go to appointment of bank depositories and signers. And hold on till I get prepared here. Thank you very much. Ben, can we take next tier, Midtown Bank, and Ameriprise Financial as one vote? Or do you want to separate it out?
I believe you can do all of these in one motion. This is, it's standard to list which depositories you have records with. The main reason being it prevents rogue employees, or for that matter, I guess elected officials, going to a different depository and setting up an account in your name without your knowledge. So you're only allowing us at this point to have accounts with Next Tier, Midtown, and Ameriprise. That said, we have not shut down the Sandy Township accounts with Farmers, nor the city accounts with S&T. It might be, I don't know, at least months before we could do that realistically.
Yeah.
And so in the interim, the idea would be to keep the signers that are currently on those accounts active until we can close down the accounts. So that's why we're asking for so many institutions.
So we can then take a voice vote on all three at one time,
Unless Patty has.
unless there's an objective up and down the table.
Am I allowed to ask a question before?
Absolutely.
I noticed that the controller is a signer of checks
Sometimes. So,
sometimes. Who examines his signature?
oh, so here's how the flow we believe should work. Currently, the controller is a signer, as is the treasurer. But since the controller's office is supposed to be the kind of watchdog in between the council approval and the treasurer. Some of the other communities we worked with have found it good that the controller be the one that signs off on the check run, but not literally a signer on the checks. And so the only reason that the controller's name is on the Ameriprise financial ones is because he's currently on there, and there was something in your city ordinances as it currently stands that says that he would be. And so in the future, we'd like to kind of rectify that, but the status quo, I suppose, would be leave the controller on there for now. Same thing with the S&T accounts, why bother changing everything when he's currently a signer? But it's a good question procedurally for sure.
Mike, does that satisfy you?
Yes, it
Excellent
does.
question, thank you. That's why we're leaning on you, my friend, thank you. Looking for a motion to appoint bank depositories and signers, Next Tier Bank, Mid-Penn Bank, Ameriprise Financial.
I do have one question, Barry.
Bill has a question.
I know you're gonna keep the other ones open. Is it just like the first quarter?
Yeah, hopefully. It's gonna depend on the ACHs, and it takes time to move things from the Commonwealth, and that's the thing that, we need to make sure that any deposits that are coming from them, we won't close them until we know that that's happening.
Can
So-
we just bring that back up in March then, just to make sure, see if we're on a time frame?
To close it?
that-
Absolutely.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
close, and that way it don't get lost in the shuffle.
So,
We wanna close it as soon as we
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
because it's gonna be too
And then
much
they
to
can bring
keep
it
up
up.
with all of that.
Yeah, in March and
When
say,
it's
hey,
closed, yes.
Yeah.
we're almost done.
Yeah.
We're gonna be closing it out, and that way, it's one thing off your plate.
Yes.
okay, is that all
If I
right
can
with
put
you,
that in
Bill?
that, yeah.
We have a motion by Shirley, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mark to do the bank depositories and signers. Next Tier Bank, Mid-Penn Bank, and Ameriprise Financial. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passed. Under the formal or former municipal legacy accounts, we have Farmers and S&T. Looks like Sam and Teresa on Farmers, Tommy, Lisa, and Dave on S&T. Little help there, Ben. What are they responsible for?
So these are the old accounts and those are the current signers.
Okay, they're the current
So
size.
we'll just leave them in place until a couple months from now when we can close them out.
I'll
Same-
make that motion that we bring it back up in March, just so.
Same thing that you
Yeah,
requested the
like we
first time.
talked, Yeah.
Any problem with that, bringing it back up in March?
I'll second.
Motion by Bill, seconded by Shirley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Appoint newspaper circulation, Courier Express. Questions? Motion, please.
Motion.
Motion by
I'll
Bill,
second.
second by Shirley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Appointment of the Pennsylvania Municipal League of Voting Delegate. Appointment of the Tax Collection Committee Representative. The primary be Lisa Culver and Dave Ruprecht as the alternate. Go ahead, Ben.
So those are two separate agenda items.
Okay.
The appointment of the PML voting delegate. I think last year you appointed us. And unfortunately, we were there as vendors, so we couldn't vote, so don't appoint us. It would ideally be your manager, and so in the fall, when PML has their annual conference, you should have a manager by then to appoint. In the interim, I would suggest maybe the mayor. So if,
I'll second that.
you'll have the first.
I thought you were first.
I don't have that authority.
Dick, what's your motion to
I
appoint the
make a
mayor
motion to appoint the mayor temporarily.
as a voting delegate?
Yep.
Sam, did I hear you second that?
Yes.
Thank you. Any questions on that? Call for, no, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Whew. Now can I go to the appointments?
Yes, so this is more or less a one-time a year meeting where the tax collectors get together and affirm various things like who the tax collection agency for this county is gonna be. The meeting's in Clearfield and Lisa Culver is doing tax collection. She lives in Clearfield, so it makes sense to have her the appointment, I think. And if she's not able to get it, then Mr. Ruprecht can go in her stead.
Any questions on that?
Motion.
Bill makes a motion,
Second.
second by Mark. All those in favor say aye.
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 Appointment of the Dubois Redevelopment Authority. Can we do all 5 of those? Here we go.
Really, you're just doing the first two, let me pause, if you don't mind, let me pause here and say, all the authorities need to have reappointments done.
Okay.
These 3 had their act together and got us the information timely. The others are either defunct or so out of whack that if they're taking more time, more of my time, these probably took an hour each. The others are so out of date that it's taking more time and back and forth, so I just couldn't get it done by today. So you will be seeing more appointments. They normatively would be done at your reorg meeting. It's just the volume was too great. So with these, what we're asking is, I'm just letting you know with the confirmations, like Josh Benton, John Yarger, Ed Nelson, those appointments were made by the previous municipality, and that's fine, that survives. But they had 2 vacancies, and so that's why we're asking for an appointment of Hugh Daly and an appointment of Mike Federici.
Ben, I'll just add that the resolution that was passed earlier today, assuming the authorities also referenced that very fact, that the council will also authorize the city manager to, going forward, review the boards of the authorities and advise the city council on what authorities still require further reappointments for vacant board positions.
Okay. So my question back to you is, can we take all 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those in one vote, or would you rather me separate them out?
One is great.
Looking for a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Shirley makes a
Second.
motion. Bill?
Second.
Questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Ayes have it. Appointment to the Hospital Authority Board. Go ahead, Ben.
So you'll have 3 more.
Okay.
When I contacted the hospital board asking for any vacancies, the answer was essentially they're all vacant. And so the 3 members that they currently have on there are expired and do not want to be reappointed. So the only 2 that were willing to stay on were Patrick Heath and Patrick Riley. So I put those in there accordingly, but you will need to make 3 more appointments for that board to be active again.
Okay. Any suggestions from the current board? If not, I'd entertain 2 people, Patrick Heath and Patrick Riley Jr., appointed to the Hospital Board Authority with 3 unfilled board members to be announced.
Barry,
Yes.
I'd like to see us put it on our website, and next month we look at it again to see if we can get 3. And then that way we hopefully can try to get it filled, knock on wood.
Yeah. We need recreation authority,
Yeah.
parking authority, and a few other people too, so.
So there's gonna be a long list on there to get,
Yes, it will.
yeah. I'll make that a motion, Barry.
Motion to appoint Heath and Riley to the Hospital Board Authority. Look for a second.
A second.
Shirley? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Appointment to the Dubois Housing Authority.
They get a gold star.
There we go.
They were all active and everything checked out, and they were living in compliance with the ordinance and everything. They just have 1 partial term to fulfill with Mark
Zimitrap.
Okay, thank you. And George Heigl.
Okay. Any questions on that? Looking for a motion for the appointments to the Dubois Housing Authority.
I'll make
So
that
moved.
motion.
So moved. Mike, seconded by Shirley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Housing Authority request letter. Ben, does that just go with that?
Oh, yeah, that was just a letter asking.
Okay,
for
that's
those
fine.
appointments.
Appointment to the Governance Committee. One of my first acts is I asked 3 people to be on this committee. I asked Sam, Bill, and Dick, and the Kaplan Group to be the 4th. Is there any problems with people on this council with the 4 that I have appointed?
We wouldn't be voting.
You're a non-voting member.
Yeah, we'd just be an ex officio non-voting member.
Yes. Any questions on that? Appointment of all 4, Sam, Bill, Dick, and the Kaplan Group as a non-voting member. Looking for a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Shirley?
Second.
Bill?
So the purpose of this group, by the way, would be to look at the governance of essentially review the charter and see if we want to change anything in it. So we have some recommendations on things that should be updated from the 1977 charter to be more in compliance with modern political philosophy, I guess I'll say, and just more definition, because I think that there are a lot of questions. Your question earlier about, for instance, who should be the signers, that's not clear by the charter. So I'd like to make those kinds of things clear.
That'd be one of the things that Bill keeps bringing up, it's put that on the website, so,
Yeah.
you know, we're as transparent as can be on that.
A question.
Go ahead.
Do you think it would be wise that we put like one or two people from the community
You certainly can.
on this? Then that way it's transparent and they see what we're trying to do to move forward.
Yeah, I just don't want a majority of this board on there, but yeah, you can appoint as many public as.
Is there anybody on the council that does not want to serve on that board?
You just got appointed, didn't you?
We don't even
And Bill, can you bring a couple names back? Maybe you could.
I'd like to get it on the website. We'll put it on the website real quick.
Okay.
And,
As it stands right now, we do have 4 people with the Cochran Group being non-members. Looking for a motion.
one question, did you want to make it 3 so we have it
Yeah, it should be,
uneven?
should be 3 and then we're just
Yeah.
advisory.
Okay,
So that,
good for that. Motion by Bill,
Second.
second by Mark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Under new business. We're looking for the authorization of Fire Company Resolution 2026-009.
I got a question, Barry.
Okay, question by Bill.
Can we put in there that the fire chief will be at the main meeting every month? I know it was optional in there for some reason. It didn't specify, but I feel for the last umpteen years, we made sure they were at our meetings. I'd like to at least, that way if the public has a question at the main meeting, they can ask.
Do you happen to remember where that was?
Oh, God, I was running through them, Ben, so quick.
I just took that to mean, like, the fire chiefs came to every meeting we've had just about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did not read that in there. so-
Yeah, it was like occasionally or something, you know. I don't
Oh,
think-
yeah, because your ordinance requires like a quarterly report or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can, in this resolution, we can change that to say that the expectation is essentially
Is a
they'd be at
monthly.
every meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you just move to approve resolution number, whatever this is, and 9?
Yeah, 2026-009
With your modifier. and
with my
we'll
modification.
We'll insert it.
for a
So
month.
I'm hearing Bill's gonna make a motion on the authorization of fire coverage, resolution 2026-009, with the understanding that we would include the fire chief will attend all the meetings.
10 meetings with a report.
10 meetings with a report.
Question.
Question down here.
Bill, in our monthly department meetings, they give a report. Don't we get the same report at this meeting?
Well, yeah, whatever he wants to bring. I mean, it would be after, it would be the third Wednesday. you know
Okay,
what I
well,
mean?
instead of quarterly, you could just.
Yeah, that's what I mean, monthly. That's what I
Okay.
said, monthly.
Did I say quarterly? I'm sorry if I did. We want the fire chief to be here for monthly report.
Yeah.
Now that we have that straight. All right, Bill's motion is authorization of fire coverage,
I'll second.
and there's a second from Dick.
Dick.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ratification of the meeting schedule for 2026, resolution 2026-010. Our meetings announced are the first and third Wednesday of the month. Question?
This is what was voted on by the previous communities. You're just acknowledging it and confirming it.
Any questions on the council?
So moved.
So moved by Bill?
Second.
Second by, or Mark, and seconded by Bill. He's looking down the table. Thank you very much for correcting that. The meeting schedule is first and third Wednesdays of the month. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Ratification of tax millage rate for 2026.
So this has to coincide with your budget, but it is a separate resolution. So, not to go out of order, but if you're not gonna pass the budget and want to reopen it, then you don't wanna pass this yet.
Okay.
How about ratification of the fee schedule?
Fee schedule, you could, yeah.
Okay, so if we go to,
Well, I guess, let me say one more quick thing though, which is that the county is already starting to nag us for what the tax rate's gonna be, because they need to start preparing the tax duplicates. So, another thing you potentially could do, just giving you options, is you could pass the tax millage rate with whatever millage rate you're insisting on. So, if by way of example, you said we wanna cut half a mil of general millage, you could still pass it that way and then just direct us to go fix the budget to match it. If you wanted to do that.
ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but I'm more comfortable opening the budget.
I am too.
Okay,
Actually, if you want, I can make the motion that we flip the ratification after the consolidated budget. And we'll just do the resolution 2026-012, then we can vote on that consolidated, then the ratification of the tax millage. Is that
Can't we just
easier?
table that?
yeah, you can postpone, I would postpone
next
the
day.
tax
Yeah,
millage.
Work from Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Give us a chance to think about it.
I'm listening up and down the board on a couple of things here. One, Mark says we can recommend tabling it. Bill thinks we can just flip it.
Whatever, I mean, I'm good with
Mark?
it.
Motion to table ratification of our tax millage rate.
That would be 2026-011,
I'll second that.
second by Dick. Questions on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. The ayes have it. Ratification of the fee schedule, that was included in your packet.
Yeah, essentially, the consolidation agreement says whichever community has the higher fee, will go with that. And so we created a resolution that mostly did that. There were a few things that didn't line up with the two communities, so we had to take some liberties and, but anyway, I think this is what the budget was based off of in terms of the fee revenues and that sort of thing. And it does not include the utilities, which are down below in a separate resolution. So this is stuff like right to know fees, what it takes to have whatever it costs to rent the pavilion at Spider Lake, stuff like that.
Questions on the fee schedule for 2026, which would be resolution 2026-012.
I'll make that a motion, Barry.
Motion by Bill,
I'll second.
second by Shirley. Questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Ratification of the budget for 2026, consolidated budget for 2026. If I am reading the tea leaves correctly, I'm hearing people say they would like to reopen the budget.
I'll make that a motion that we reopen the budget.
I'll second it.
Second, or motion by Bill, and second by Shirley to reopen the 2026 budget.
I'd like a voice vote.
Thank you very much. We most certainly can do that.
So we're gonna reopen the budget, so everyone's been working on,
Everybody's been working on this.
so we're working basically for extensive tax cuts, would you say? Because I've seen most places when they reopen the budget, they reopen them and they pretty much come away with quite a few, they don't reopen it just for a $500,000 or anything like that. Usually they find 4 or 5 mills, maybe that's excess, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 mills that they find. So everyone has suggestions to cut the budget, because I've been looking at different municipalities that have reopened their budgets recently, and they, before they passed it, that they did come away with quite a few cuts. So I didn't want to reopen the budget if we weren't going to come away with quite a few cuts. So is that our goal? Is
Any more discussion up and down the board?
That's my goal, Sam. Not a big burden on our people.
I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot if we if we cut 5 or 6 mils out of the budget.
Okay.
I would agree, Mark.
So I guess the only thing we need to know right now is, are we in favor of reopening the budget?
The motion is to reopen the budget.
But that said, we will necessarily need to know what your, what the goal is.
I thought that was
So-
Wednesday's meeting. is when
Well-
we would discuss that.
It could be,
I mean, that's 2 days away.
How about a motion to table?
No, I want to table it, I want to open it.
Well, then, at
Well-
Wednesday's meeting, we can get into the nuts and bolts.
okay, so in the, go ahead.
It would be really helpful if you have an idea of what you're talking about to get to 5, because that is extensive, and we don't have much time to do that work because of the county needing the tax information for those tax bills. We also need it for the treasury, for the bills that we're doing for utilities, and then we also need to know it for staffing and things like that. So if you could send us some notes of what your thoughts are before, like tomorrow, so that Wednesday we could be prepared with the data.
I wanted to add that procedurally in a council manager form of government, what the law says is that you can give broad directives, but it's not like you would send us, you can send Lisa I wanna cut this line, and this line, or whatever, but that's not how the committee as a whole works in order to make that happen. What you need to do is say, manager, go cut 4 mils or something like that, which would be dang near impossible without some
A lot
major.
of services.
A lot of
We'll
services
be
cut.
cutting services.
But, point being, you can give suggestions, but what we need from you will be a clear directive. So either you do that now, or to your point, Dick, you need to do that on Wednesday, where you give us a very clear,
Yeah.
cut it by 2 mils, and you're gonna do that by cutting personnel and capital or something. But you're not gonna come back to us with like little incremental changes or something.
Can we get on record how many mills we're planning on raising taxes?
Right
How
now-
much each mill means, or is? Is that 330,000 or something like that?
Yeah, it's roughly 350.
350.
Right now, the proposal is 12, and I'll say a tenth. Let's just round it to 12 mils for general purpose, half a mil for the library, 0.34 for recreation, and 0.82 for debt, for a grand total of 13.75, which is 2 mils higher than the current city, the previous city. And closer to 5 for the
Wasn't
former.
like
So 2 mils
5.75?
for the city, 5 for the, used to be Stanton Township.
Close, yes.
Okay.
I thought, Ben, you said it was like 5.75 or something.
That
With
sounds
the
right.
township.
Yeah.
Okay.
My opinion is, to open the budget is to give Shirley and Mike, our 2 new members, one chance to at least speak up on the budget, pro or con, dollars and cents, and just allow them to offer their opinion, and then if we can vote it up or down on Wednesday.
Could they do
What's the
that now?
timetable on this?
The
If
time
we
table.
reopen it, what's the deadline,
Oh,
decision on
The
that?
20th,
It changes.
21st.
So it has to be passed by, well, we need the resolution on the millage much sooner. But we need a 20-day period to advertise the budget. And so the last chance that you could do that and still meet the state requirement of having it done by whatever, I think it was February 20th or something, would be the second meeting in January, so third
Roughly
Wednesday.
20 foot.
Yeah, so we'll have to have this done in 2 weeks and 2 days.
But you say the millage precedes that.
We need that to get to the county.
You need this to get the millage, and the millage is due before 20 days,
Yeah, they
which
wanted
means
to-
this is due.
Now, they may not get it by the 15th, but
She called me yesterday, yeah.
And to
May
be-
I ask, what, if you did not, excuse me, please, reopen the budget, what are the limitations on amending a budget?
I have the answer for a normal community, that would be 10%. In this case, because it's a completely new city, I don't know if you have any.
You have an answer to
I think
that?
it's 10% upwards. I don't think there is a limit
On
on
downwards.
what you can cut in the budget.
Yeah, you're right.
And while I have the mic, I also want, Mayor, going back to one of your comments, you mentioned that we have 2 new members.
Yes.
Want to clarify that technically you're all new members. I think
Thank
you
you.
meant 2 members that were not on the board of the prior municipalities.
Thank you for correcting that.
But yes, for cities, under the code, there's 10% cap on adjusting the budget upwards, but not downwards.
And I just wanna clarify that millage change for Sandy Township is 4.625, and the city is 2, the former city is 2.
It's not
So
quite-
the opportunity to change a budget does not disappear. We don't open it now.
Part of the reason that you can change the budget now is because there was an election, this is an election year, so it is, that circumstance does expire. I wanna say it's February 15th, I think you
Yeah.
can check with, I'm speaking as consolidation counsel, the actual solicitor is not present, because he was just approved by the council. But so generally speaking, yes, you have to February 15th, so you have some time, but not infinite time. So if there's interest in reading the budget, you have about 6 weeks to consider that and reopen it before that point in time. But it is not an indefinite period where you can go back and reopen it for obvious reasons. The public deserves some certainty as to what the budget's gonna look like for the city.
Also, there is an advertising period that we have to adhere to get to that February 15th date. So, for public inspection.
If we open the budget, does anybody have any problems sending anything to Lisa by Wednesday? Bring it Wednesday, is that what
Bring
you
it
want?
Wednesday, yep.
Wednesday?
If you have thoughts before that or something you wanna discuss, let's do that ahead of time so that we can be more prepared.
Give Lisa a call.
Well, how comfortable are the 5 people or the 7 who were involved in the budget that there's a definite need to reopen it?
I am not in favor of reopening.
I mean, you people, 5 of the 7 have basically agreed to this budget.
I want to clarify something on that. We had to vote for it before we could vote to
Okay.
reopen it. So,
Were you voting for that budget? Did you not have to?
I don't think we were given that option, Mike.
Pardon me?
I don't think we
We
were
weren't
given
given
that
an
No,
option.
but
were
would
we?
have you? What my point is, the 5 of you have already been through this budget.
Yes.
we had
Are there
to,
areas in which you would, as soon as she and I want to change it, 5 of you have already looked at those.
Correct.
So, you're gonna change what you approved?
Once again, my reason for opening is to give you as a newly elected, and Shirley as a newly elected council person, a chance to express your opinion. Once that occurs, we either vote it up or down.
And this is also a little bit unusual because this is the first meeting for the new city. The consolidation process required the prior joint board to pass a budget that had to be in place as of January 5. That was a requirement. And so the new city council does have the right to reopen that. But if we were forming a complete new city outside of consolidation, it'd be a different process. But the consolidation process required the prior joint board to pass a budget that was effective by January 5th. So we're referring back to people that were involved in that process, but those were still separate municipalities. This is a new city council, so I wouldn't frame it in terms of what the joint board did and how that relates to this current new city council. All of you now have the same opportunity to either accept that budget or reopen it.
Does that help you, Mike?
Yeah.
So now I'm back to the question is, do we want to reopen the budget until January 7th? Is that the date that we're looking at? Dick?
yes.
Sam, January 7th? I heard what you said, and I heard what Mark said, so.
Well, actually, I don't wanna reopen the budget.
Okay.
But if we do reopen the budget, I'm going for big cuts,
Okay.
okay?
Down this end?
I'm all for opening up.
I'll entertain a motion to,
There is a motion on the floor to
Thank you.
reopen the budget, Beers and DeRuge.
Yeah,
Beers and DeRuge.
it's been a while there.
Okay. Can we have a roll call vote on this, please?
Beers,
Yes,
DeRuge,
Yes.
Malika,
No.
Piccirillo,
Yes.
Sullivan,
No.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Abbott,
Yes.
5-2.
5-2, yes. We reopen it and see you January 7th with suggestions, please. Questions? Thank you. Ratification of wages, salaries, administrative benefits for 2006, Resolution 2026-014. Questions? Motion for ratification of wages, salaries, administrative benefits.
So move.
Wait,
Oh,
may I speak?
we're gonna have to table.
I don't think you should ratify wages
Without,
without knowing what you're gonna do, which I want you to also know that you cannot pay people,
correct.
so.
Thank you very much. I had that pause so somebody would jump in.
The next payroll is on the 15th, so we would have to know by the 9th if we're ratifying wages. Okay, so you need to be clear on that by Wednesday.
So technically, if we don't pass it, we cannot make payroll,
We cannot.
just so everyone's aware of that. Motion to table resolution 2026-014.
Motion to table,
second.
second. Is that you, Bill?
Yes.
Thank you. Any questions on the table of the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ooh, ooh. All those say no, say no. Aye, pass. Thank you. Resolution, ratification of bid threshold for 2026.
this is somewhat of a formality. The state sets thresholds by which we have to either get verbal or written quotes or actually put things out to bid. On third-class cities, it's actually rather lax. And so we're recommending, as we do with cities that we work with, that we instead treat yourself like a borough or a township and have 3 tiers. So this resolution says that anything under 13,200 to conform with DOL's recommendation would not need competitive bidding. Anything between that number and 24,500 will get written or telephone quotes. And above 24,500, we would collect formal competitive bids.
Questions on that? Motion to ratification of bid thresholds for 2026, resolution 2026-015.
So
So
move.
move.
Second.
Wait, hold on, time out. Motion by Mark, seconded by Bill. Question? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Ratification of the mileage reimbursement rate, just government rate.
Yeah, I mean, you can set it for less, you can't set it for more. The IRS federal reimbursement rate this year is 72.5 cents per mile. So we wrote it as such. I believe it's been the policy of the city and the township for ages for it to be the federal reimbursement rate, but we just need you to formalize that.
Ratification of the mileage reimbursement rate at 72.5
So moved.
by
Second.
Mike, second by Bill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Grant assumption resolution 2026-017.
So this is essentially memorializing all of the grants that Sandy Township and the former city had in the hopper that at least I know about. And confirming that the new city is adopting those, or assuming them. And with that, that would also essentially tie up the funds that Sandy Township in particular is bringing to the new city as encumbered for those projects. So for instance, your industrial drive project that has a $750,000 match, Sandy saved up the money for it, So bringing it to the new city and now confirming you're still gonna spend that money on that project, just by way of example.
If I may go backwards for 30 seconds, please
My
indulge me.
My mistake, that was Kiwanis Trail.
I was gonna ask you, where's Kiwanis Trail?
Yeah.
I think Industrial Drive's just about finished.
Should be finished, yeah.
So if we go back to the ratification of budget for 2026 at the millage rate that was approved, that would give us money in the bank if we have matching grants coming forth. That's the question.
Not much.
Well, we already know what our grants are for 26.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
If we reduce that millage rate, would that encumber any grants that may be forthcoming?
And you mean limit the ability to
Limit
apply
the
for them?
ability, correct.
Maybe.
That's a definite maybe. Okay, that was my question. Anybody else have anything on grant assumptions, resolution 2026?
Mr. Mayor, if I might
Yes.
add, what I was saying was it won't really inhibit our ability to apply
Correct.
in 2026 for grants into the future. But it will limit our ability to actually be awarded them, because if you don't have proof of match, then we're not gonna be able to get them.
That was my question
Yeah,
about.
that, and I hesitated, but just because of a technicality, but
Yes.
I'm trying to answer your question more directly.
Everybody understand my question and the answer? Looking for a motion, grant assumption resolution 2026-017.
So moved.
Motion?
Mark, second by Bill. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Utility fees for 2026, resolution 2026-018.
These are the garbage and water and sewer rates. I don't see why you couldn't pass that independent of the budget. In fact, it would give us something solid to build kind of build part of the budget off of. Because these are enterprise funds, you can't, use that money for anything other than its stated purpose. And we really feel pretty sure that those are pretty well dialed in. So if there's play in the budget, it's in the general fund budget, not really these funds.
Question or comments by our manager. Looking for a motion to approve utility fees 2026, resolution 2026-18.
So moved.
Bill?
Second?
Mark? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Look for public comment on the policies, resolution 2026-019.
This is the same public comment policy that the two communities had in the past, simply carrying it forward into the new year. In essence, it says that there will be 2 public comment periods at every regular public meeting. And that would be at the beginning on agenda items so that you can hear what people's thoughts are before you vote, and then save all of the general comments and public stuff to the end of the meeting so that it's not kind of disrupting and taking up a lot of time at the beginning. And it limits public comment to 3 minutes per topic that they want to raise.
I'd like to ask a question. Are we gonna have in there where people have to sign up like they did before?
It is in there. Do you not like that?
I like,
Okay.
Okay. Time limit is set to 3 minutes. Anybody have any comments on that?
you sign up ahead of time.
The only thing I gotta say here, if you'll indulge me for a minute, if I happen to hit the gavel at 3 minutes and 5 seconds, don't get mad at me. It's a past resolution,
It's just your job.
say what you wanna say. At like the 2 minute 45 seconds, maybe we'll have a clock up there, somebody will raise our hand and say, you need to wrap it up. And if you continue, we're sorry. So, don't get mad. That's what we're confined to. Thank you very much. Looking for a resolution on public comment 2026-19.
So moved.
Motion, please. Bill? Dick? Thank you very much. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Collective bargaining, side agreements, ratification, can we take both of these, Lisa? Or do you want to separate these out?
You can take them both at the same time.
Looking for a motion for ratification of the MOUs with ASME and MOUs with SEIU. Questions?
Yeah, one question. Is, this is just for the 1-year contract?
It's not a one-year contract. This is only wages and healthcare.
Okay,
We will be going out to petition the labor board for one unit around.
oh, we can do that again?
Once we're operational. So once we have that budget in place, once we have all of these items taken care of, then so it'll be sometime in February before we can do it. So we are still negotiating with both groups, just to get to that common, contract. But, this is just for wages and healthcare.
Okay.
Okay?
Answer your question?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Looking for a motion for collective bargaining side agreements with ASME and SEIU.
Motion?
By Bill, second.
Second.
Shirley, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Grant management for 2026, the IGA with the Dubois Regional Development Authority for 2026.
Barry, I got a question.
Go ahead.
How did you come to the conclusion of raising the rate? It was $6,000 a month, now it's up to $8,300 a month. It's like a 38% increase. How did that come about?
When we had the budget meeting here in, I don't know, mid-October, the majority of the board of the two communities, the joint board, requested that that be increased to $100,000 a year. So that's where the number comes from.
I just feel that, we got employees only getting 3-4%. Then all of a sudden, we got one person gonna get an increase up to 38%. I mean, now, it's quite a bit.
That's not just one person, though, is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the redevelopment authority, and they are not necessarily paying all of that directly to their executive director.
But still, it's a big increase.
Yeah, and to be honest, we've overused the RDA's hours. I mean, consistently, we'll just say Joe has been putting in far more hours than were anticipated, both in terms of grants and frankly, he's been very helpful in other things too, like budgeting processes and stuff. So that's why I certainly don't think it's unfair. It's not like he's getting a personal wage increase necessarily that's like way out of line from the rest of the city. He's also not our employee, so it's not really a fair comparison in my opinion.
But then I look at too, then we get a manager, and that manager's
some of
gonna
that
take a lot of that, so
Yeah.
it's a savings too, that we could cut down.
It's fair, yeah.
I know in the past, the RDA always had an administrative staff person as well. And when that cooperation agreement came to an end, so did that staff person. So he's been working solo, and I do think that in their planning moving forward, they would like to reinstate someone as administrative staff.
Any other comments down the table for the council? Grant management for 2026, the IGA Dubois Redevelopment Authority for 2026. Would you like a roll call vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
No.
Has there been a motion?
We didn't have a motion. I don't think we had a motion.
Didn't have a motion yet.
Back up. Boop, boop, boop. Looking for a motion for the IGA Dubois Redevelopment Authority for 2026.
Motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Mark and seconded by Sam. Roll call vote, please.
Beers,
No.
DeRuge,
Yes.
Malika,
Yes.
Piccirillo,
No.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Abbott,
Yes.
5-2.
Authorization for emergency medical service coverage. This is the Doosan ambulance service contract. Questions?
Essentially, this is taking the contract from the old communities and bringing it into the new. You don't subsidize them in any way, which is kind of unusual. But by state law, you do need to designate who is your EMS coverage and who is your fire and police and so forth. And so this is again, a service contract that's right in line with what you previously had.
Ben, is this a 3-year contract then? Does it start in '26, or are we just taking up what's left of the old?
It's been about 2 months since I read it. Yeah, November 7th, so. No, it wouldn't be that easy, would it, just to have a term?
No.
It's in the fine print.
Somewhere. I don't initially see that, to be honest.
What was the signing date there?
The 7th of November
Of what year?
last year. But it was prepared for, oh yeah, it was prepared specifically for this council.
It was for a 3-year term,
Should be a
wasn't it,
3.
Bill?
Yeah, that's what it
They've
was.
got 2 years in.
That's what I thought, but I didn't know if, do we go back and that sets it now for 3 years, or we just have to look at this again for 27?
Well, I don't see any of that language in there, so if you'd like, we could table it and just look at it on, I can get an answer easily enough by
Yeah,
Wednesday.
I'm pretty sure there was one, because we had that put in, didn't we, Mark?
I believe so.
Is that a deal breaker for any of the board members?
No, it's more of a clarification, Barry.
Well, we can still approve this.
Yeah.
It's just for 1 year, right?
We don't know.
I'll make that part of my motion that we approve this for the period of 2026.
Okay.
Second,
Second, Bill?
yeah.
Move to second, that we approve Doosan 2026 until we have further information. Is that, could we speak to that, Mark? Or just?
Well,
I'd like to keep
we'll just
quiet.
need a new contract for 27.
27,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next is the interim management service agreement 2026, Catherine Strategies LLC interim management agreement. I think one of the things that we have witnessed is the networking strategies and plannings that Catherine Strategies have brought to the consolidation process. They carry the yeoman's work, and I think over the course of the year, we would not be ready for consolidation without them. And that's my speech.
My only question, Barry,
Go ahead.
is, since we're a new city, new municipal, did we have to put this out today?
It's a
Because
professional,
technically, you guys are coming in to the new municipality, so we just don't, get in a bond.
It's a professional service, which you don't have to bid.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's good. You could bid it, but you're not obligated to bid it.
Okay, no, that's fine. I mean, I just want a clarification that way that our public knows what's rolling out.
the other thing that is important to note in this is that we went from a retainer to just hourly because our expectation would be that you'll want to tail down on using us. So there was a term, essentially, we knew we were gonna be here till today, right, for the last 13, 14 months. But we don't really know what's gonna happen in the next 6 months. So I've heard some of you say, you should stay here for, what did you just say, 6 years?
6 years.
6 years, I've heard everything from 2 months to 6 years. But our expectation would be that you'll be using us less. So if you hire a finance administrator, for instance, our workload is gonna drop by 1/3 probably. If you hire a manager, it's gonna drop by 2/3 or whatever, and then you'll keep us around a little bit probably for months, but this allows you to have that flexibility of we're actually billing what we're putting in, and so hopefully we won't lose as much revenue as we have for the last few months. And conversely, when we go to scale down, you will benefit from that because you're not on a retainer.
Any other questions on the interim management services of Capital Strategies LLC?
I'll make that
Management
motion.
agreement.
And I'll second it.
Whoops, why don't we have a motion yet?
Dick.
Dick.
Oh, Dick made the motion, thank you, Dick. Seconded by Shirley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, thank you. Welcome to the fold again.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was a good 6 hours off.
Can I ask a question in reference to that? He's putting out for a new manager. Does that hit the papers or wherever we're advertising? Not yet, okay.
I think we decided we were gonna hold off on that until,
Wednesday night,
well,
that
no,
was, wasn't it? That we were gonna
well,
make the process to move forward.
but I think the new committee that was formed to relook at the charter,
Right.
they wanted to get their report back, so we had a job description for the new manager.
Right. 24/7, $50 a week.
We're gonna be here a long time.
You said that.
So that's all it takes.
You're just not gonna fill it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Passed. Refuge and Recycling Committee Waste Management Assumption Agreement Addendum. Questions?
What is the addendum? What do you mean by the addendum? You're voting on the agreement or just the addendum to the agreement?
So the previous two communities had agreements in place with Waste Management, and Ed's here to answer questions. So this is taking, I guess I'll say, the best of both agreements, merging them together and carrying the timeline of the cities.
Correct.
Yes, and bringing it to the new city, because Sandy's actually expired today, I think.
Yeah, so, thank you, everybody. I'm Ed Yonner from Waste Management. Thanks for the time today. So there are two agreements. So the Sandy Township agreement, actually is in effect till September 30th of 2026. And then the city agreement is in effect until March 31st of 2028. And meeting with Ben and Zach, okay, just going through different portions of the agreement. What we did was a consolidation agreement. And what that would do is take the existing agreement to the end of the city contract, which is March 31st, 2028. And really, like you said, it took the best of both worlds, made some enhancements to the agreement so that the city would actually get the benefit of what was only for Sandy Township, for example. And if there are things in the city agreement that didn't benefit Sandy Township, now the new municipality would have that benefit as well. So there are some positives to it. Best positive that I could see is that enhances the services for the residential units. One of them is not only do we have the monthly cleanups, but we also added document destruction on an annual or as requested basis for everybody. And also we revisited the commercial extra yardage charges that were not addressed in previous agreements. So now we have that at a flat rate of $20 per cubic yard, which is a huge push in the right direction. So nice work on that piece. I thought the city did a really nice job putting that together. And we're looking at the annual administrative fees that are required in the contract. So currently those will continue, but looking at enhancements on that, trying to wrap our head around what the new city commercial piece looks like. We looked at the residential piece, and currently both municipalities have identical administrative fees, which makes it quite easy. However, there's room for improvement for the city once we take a look at the commercial piece, because the city can actually do some of the billing of the services for which Waste Management will pay you a billing fee for that, along with additional administrative fees. So we kept that open-ended until we figure out when you want to pull the trigger on that particular piece. It's not completely easy. It takes a little bit of heavy lifting by the city personnel to get that done. But it's not complicated, it's just tedious, to go through and make sure we have it all I's dotted and T's crossed. But thank you. Available to answer any questions anytime. I appreciate everybody's help, and happy to thank you for your business, happy to be your garbage man.
And one of the things that I noticed in Sandy Township, they have trash containers, various sizes. I see sometimes the city, their trash is out in the street in bags is that going to, is there gonna be any chance for city residents to get those containers?
Yeah, that's part of the, yeah, thank you, you guys are right on the money. We will do that, we'll provide carts to all the residents of the city of Dubois.
And that would
They
be
don't currently
at
have
a
them.
size that a resident would require.
Yeah, exactly. So whatever the resident would like to have, and service remains unlimited. So really what that means, let's pretend that, you know, there's a household that has, you know, a large family, right? So you need more carts than people that would have a smaller one, we'll do that. So whatever the household needs, we'll make certain that they get those. And of course, you know, all the pricing is protected under the existing agreements, under bidding terms, so works out quite well. But yes, that'll be a new enhancement for the city, that the remaining city residents that don't have carts will have carts delivered to them. So we'll have to set up a timetable and get that done for you, but pretty good, easy, simple process that I think everyone will really like.
Good, I appreciate that, thank you
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
much.
Barry, I got a question.
Go ahead,
for
Bill.
Ed.
Yes,
Ed,
yes,
is
sir.
there any way we could get a local account manager to work with us? Because the last 6 months, we've been hearing from our residents that they've had sheer nightmare ordeals with your company. And they say they call in and they don't get nothing. And I want to make sure that that doesn't fall through in the new city here, that we combine. Is there any way we can have an account manager locally that maybe Zach or somebody, you know, we can designate to get a hold of you to make sure these are taken care of and we don't have horror stories moving forward?
Yeah, and I'm happy you brought that up, and thank you. So one of the things, and, you know, I've talked to the city before, waste management's kind of engineered your customer experience center to be really web-based. And that's okay for everybody younger than me, right? But because, you know, that's the generational type of thing, they want to do web-based, and I read so many reviews, and it is very popular, but a lot of people still like to call, okay? So one of the things we did was, when we met with Zach and with Ben, one of the things we talked about was actually providing additional people to help with the city for customer experience issues, and on top of that, we're going to have a website, WM website specifically for your city. So you folks will have your own website from WM, specific to the city contract, that outlines everything. It'll be a really nice enhancement as well. To answer your question, yes. Yeah, we did address that and talked about it. That was a request from Ben and Zach as well. So we'll make certain that we have that in place for you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
I understood that to mean that you would actually have a live person locally that you could talk to.
Well, I do have people locally, yes. I have people right in our Dubois office that can talk to anybody.
Okay.
Yep, we provide that number for you. You reach out and call us. I get calls all the time, and generally really happy to hear from people and, you know, what's going on. But yeah, we actually have operational support people available every day, Monday through Friday. You know, generally we start our days really, really early. But absolutely, we'll provide. You can have them, and you can put them onto your website, right? You communicate them out, so if somebody has an issue, and we have people stopping out on a daily basis from the city and other communities, but yeah, absolutely, yep.
Could this, for this first year, could you come like every quarter?
Oh,
For
sure.
our meeting?
Yeah,
Just
be happy to
if
come.
That way, if the public has any questions, you're here.
Absolutely, be happy to do that for you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you extending this because the rates are really reasonable compared to
Well, thank you.
a lot of other.
Well, thanks for working with us, and hey, it's been a pleasure to work with everybody. We really appreciate it. We got a lot of local people working for us, and I'm happy that the service is good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the city get to the carts, to get everybody else on the cart program. I think it's gonna be great.
That's for the regular rate. Now, some people complain about the commercial, but I'm not from, I know that varies because you can have,
Yeah, you know, there was a couple of things we really needed to wrap up on a commercial piece, and I think we got it. So, you know, the area of concern that we had, I think we negotiated a good resolution. But that's how we get there, right? Just talking about it, trying to figure it out. And one of the things I did share, congratulations everybody on your new your newly elected offices. Congratulations. I'm really looking forward to working for you. In past administrations I have talked to, how do we get that done, right? How do we want to roll with it, get it going? And I think we got to a good place. I think we're going to be real happy with it.
And so we won't have to, we'll probably have to start negotiating for a new contract in probably summer of 2027?
Hey, we can do it anytime, yes, absolutely, absolutely. But I'll make it easy on you. Like I said, if you want me to come over, I'll be happy to come anytime you need me to be here, so, yeah, thank you very much.
Make it easy by leaving the rates the same.
That's always easy, yes.
For the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And thank you very much.
Easy.
That was very gracious of you.
Well,
And
thank you very much, I'm
before
happy
you-
to be here.
Before you retire, maybe we forge that contract.
Yeah, well,
Of course, you're
hey-
not old enough to retire, so.
No, oh yeah, I'm old enough to retire, I hope, but yeah, like I said, I'm the guy that gets blamed for everything that goes wrong. So don't hesitate to call me, be happy to fix it for you, that's really what I like to do. And I appreciate it, I appreciate everybody here, thank you for your time.
Thanks, yeah, that was great. Any other questions for him? Looking for a motion to approve the refuge and recycling waste management assumption agreement addendum.
So
I
moved.
make that motion.
Mike makes a motion, second by Bill. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Adoption of the police department handbook.
Thank you.
I don't.
Thank you, Ed.
So I do think that this is not, after speaking with legal counsel earlier today, I think we've determined that this is not necessary, but you want to.
Yeah, there's a question about the police department and the authority to implement the police department. And that's really contained in the city's optional plan charter, which unlike some municipalities, they say a borough, which can appoint a police department. The city's optional charter law requires a police department, so there's no decision to make. The only decision to make is who is going to be the chief, not whether or not there's going to be a city police department. So by virtue of the optional plan that was approved via the consolidation, the police department was already authorized by that optional plan when the city adopted the prior city's optional plan as its optional plan as part of the consolidation.
We need a motion to strike.
So, I don't think so. I think we'll just ignore it and move on.
Okay.
Right? Or do you want a motion for something?
It's just an agenda item, so it doesn't really mean anything. You either pass it or you move on, so you don't really need to strike it from the agenda. It's not
Yeah, just
How about a motion to take it off the agenda?
Motion to strike?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to strike. Adoption of the interim employee handbook.
All right, I was being ambitious. We were engaged with legal counsel on getting a handbook together, which we were not able to do in advance of Friday, and so I think at Friday at like 5 p.m. I had a draft that I sent home with the HR director. That's insufficient time to review, so we would like to at least push this off until Wednesday, possibly even. I would really like to get it done on Wednesday. It doesn't have to be the final, but we want to have some sort of employee handbook in place for the big stuff.
I have a motion to table the adoption of the interim employee handbook.
So moved.
Bill?
Second.
Mark? Dick? Motion by Bill, second by Dick. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any other questions? Before we, yes, Ben.
Well, not a question so much as earlier Lisa and I had hoped to speak to the board and the staff, but because of the cold and such, we invited everyone in and thought we maybe could speak, at 2:30 or something, and then it just didn't happen. So I was wondering if we could just briefly offer a few thoughts to you now.
I have absolutely no problem.
Okay.
Which one of you two would like to go first?
Rock, paper, scissors?
Thank you. Lisa, you're on.
Well, wait.
Wait,
This is just for staff.
I'm gonna speak to the staff, so I don't necessarily have to do that tonight unless you wanna know what I'm going to tell them. But I do wanna speak to you about the money for a minute as you're considering these items for for what you want to do going forward for Wednesday. So when we put that flow of funds document together, one of the things that I have is a summary of what is moving to where, from what bank account in each community to the new bank account. So one of the things that's really important for you to understand is between the two communities, we're doing pooled cash in some of these funds. So we're bringing, not just, like the general fund is gonna consist of the cities, the former cities general fund, the former cities neighborhood fund, the former cities interest account, the former cities K-9 fund, a payroll account, and a health insurance account. And then former Sandy Township's general fund and payroll account. And I want you to know that the general fund has a burn rate of around $700,000 a month between payroll and other items, and that's not including, you know, the things that creep up, the insurances, that kind of thing. This is just like a monthly average. And we are only bringing over $403,000 in the general fund between the two communities. And so I want you to understand that we're starting with very, very low cash. The other thing that's happening, we are bringing quite a bit over from Sandy Township's capital funding, but along the way, we will be asking to borrow those funds to meet our obligations in the general fund until the tax revenues start coming in, and then we'll be rolling that back. We're essentially borrowing from ourselves for a couple months. And so I want you to understand this critical, we did not move any money. I feel very proud of this. Our finance team worked very hard. We made sure that we did dollar for dollar transfers. We did not move any money that was not authorized from any utility fund into the general fund to meet our bills. But that has left us very cash low. That in building this building, the city's reserves were really depleted. A lot of Sandy's reserves were really depleted in building this facility and the work that we've done in some of the other projects. And so I just want you to understand that we are coming in very low cash. It's a little concerning. So keep that in mind. I have a whole spreadsheet of this that we'll discuss on Wednesday if you want to, but I just want you to, you know, think about that as well as you're thinking about whatever you wanna, you know, cut or you know, whatever your plans are. So I just felt like that was really important for you to know. Okay?
Thank you.
Yep. So I'm gonna go first so I can tell you what I'm gonna tell the staff, and I'm just gonna read it to you. Some of them are here, they'll get to hear it twice because they're gonna hear it on Wednesday now. But I'm gonna feed them, so it'll be okay.
You got leftovers, so.
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah, this is my charge to the staff. Today is one of those rare days in local government that many people never get to experience. So let me ask you, how many of you thought this day might never come? But how many of you are grateful to be here for it? Because today the city of Dubois and Sandy Township become one, and with that we've been given a rare gift, a clean slate. Over the past several months, I've shared stories with you, not just to entertain, but to shape how we think about this moment. We talked about Casa Amiga Tequila, how good ideas are meant to be shared among friends. We talked about Post-it notes, born from a mistake, refined over time, and now essential. We talked about onion goggles, how innovation shows up in unexpected places. We talked about the Savannah bananas, that joy and creativity belong at work. I gave a Christmas wish, and Ben shared the Fred Factor story, how caring for people changes everything. Those stories all point to the same truth. Culture is not what we say, it's how we treat each other every single day. My charge to you is simple: serve with purpose. That means caring for the community and caring for each other. What we do matters, from answering phones to plowing streets, from water systems to enforcement. All of this is a labor of love. Trust, treat people with dignity, listen carefully, be patient. Small moments of kindness build lasting trust. Just as important is how we treat one another inside our organization. Two cultures are becoming one, and that takes humility, grace, and intention. Choose gratitude over grumbling. Don't gossip, it erodes trust. Assume good intentions about one another. That's one of my favorites. Talk directly, seek reconciliation, and create a safe space where people can bring ideas, questions, and even mistakes, because that's how innovation and trust grow. Remember, clear is kind. Avoiding hard conversations trades short-term comfort for long-term dysfunction, and clarity without kindness misses the mark too. As my friend and colleague Eden Ratliff says, we are not bound by previous bad decisions. Be curious. Evaluate the ways things used to be done before we continue in that vein. There just might be a better way of doing the things that we do. And now is the time to evaluate our systems, improve processes, document what works, and change what doesn't. As I have said many times in the past, the real work begins now. As James Clear says, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. Let's build systems and a culture that reflects the best of who we are. You are called to this role for such a time as this. This is hard work, but work worth doing. In my opinion, this is some of the most meaningful work that we can do. You are gifted and capable in exactly what this community needs. Thank you for all your hard work and efforts to get us to today. I am deeply grateful for the chance to do such purposeful work alongside you all. Let's take this clean slate, serve with purpose, care deeply, and move onward and upward together in gratitude.
Any council members' comments on Lisa's comments? The only thing I will say is, we, collectively, we need to work together. And we need to understand each other's needs. And we need to keep our eye on the present and look toward the future. So thank you, Lisa. That was very kind. You're up, Ben.
Okay. I want you to, you didn't know me at age 13, 14, 15. I was a bit of a nerd. Probably couldn't have guessed. I was the kid that literally was reading Locke's 2 treatises of government under the covers by flashlight. And as an early teenager, I remember talking about something with constitutional law with my dad. And he was like, well, if you think you could have done better, why don't you go write a constitution? And so I did. And I just love government and statesmanship and how government ought to work. And because I believe that it leads to it can lead to real human flourishing, and or really not, right? It could create the opposite if it's not done correctly. And so I really care about the big questions of like, what is justice, what is truth, and how do we make government to conform with ultimately God's law. So all of that has been like my North Star. I love this kind of stuff, so it's so fulfilling to have been involved in this process and now get to help you with your charter and stuff, because like this is the stuff I really enjoy. And it's I know that I'm relatively young, but you also know that I've been an elected official for more than a decade and have worked in federal, state, and local government. During my time, well, even as a teenager working on political campaigns, I would ask statesmen who I came to meet for like one piece of advice that they would give me. And over the years, literally over the last 20 years, I've written those down in a little book, little black book. And I wanted to share a dozen of those with you tonight as kind of a charge to the council of things that I've learned, not so much because it's me or my advice, but because I stand on the back of giants. So what I'm about to share with you are a dozen that I've selected, and I hope you hear them and maybe they're helpful to you as you set out on this new city. The first is Senator Tom Coburn. He told me, know the rules. The one thing you can do that will set you apart is knowing the rules. And I took that to heart when I read for county commissioner. I read the entire county code and all the laws and such that I thought immediately pertained to my work. I read up on parliamentary procedure, and as a result of that, no one could push me around. No one could, block me from some sort of vote or something because I knew the rules. I stopped multiple departments from doing things that were illegal just because I knew the law. Saved probably the government a lot of money too for not having to pay attorneys because, again, I knew the law. So, first piece of advice is know the rules. Second, a fellow county commissioner told me, don't just pave the cow path. If any of you had cows, I have cows, or at least grew up having cows. They usually make these hard-packed, really narrow, strange pasture paths. And it seems like in government, so oftentimes, things evolve over decades or even hundreds of years. And sometimes we just start codifying and paving over those strange habits and such. So I think that you ought to take this opportunity, the clean slate that you have here, and build a straight and narrow road, not just pave over the cow path, because that's the way it's always been done. Rick Santorum, when I worked for him, he was working on abortion legislation, and there were a bunch of people that were really upset with him on his side of the aisle because he voted on a compromise. So they were saying, we don't want any abortions, and he was willing to compromise on something. And so they said, you're giving up, you're no good as anybody else because, you're compromising. So he told me the one thing that he would recommend is, he said, compromise is not a bad thing as long as it's moving in the right direction. In the legislative process that you are now in, you're never going to get to the perfect, at least from your perspective. There's always going to be a compromise. And remember that compromise isn't a bad thing as long as it's headed in the right direction. Congressman John Peterson said rely on your team. What he was referring to was specifically leaning on other legislators to know something about what you're voting on. So he was saying, I'm the transportation guy in Pennsylvania. Any of the congressmen come to me for anything related to transportation because that's my area. I don't know a thing about education. I go to Congressman whomever. And so same thing with you guys. You can't know everything about this government. But if you have a construction background or something and there's stuff related to buildings, great, lean on that guy. If there's public finance and auditing, I think you know who you should probably ask, right? So lean on each other. Don't assume that you can know everything. You can't. You don't have time to deep dive into everything. So rely on your fellow council people. Next is a fun one. Plant the trees. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about trees, and I'm not necessarily talking about where you plant them and whether or not you plant them in pots or where those pots go. But I am talking about this quote. A society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade they know they will never sit. A society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade they know they will never sit. The real scoreboard for local government is not measured by you or the benefits you get out of it. The benefit should be measured by, or your success should be measured on the community that you're building for your children's children. So be forward thinking and plant the trees. Next, I'm going to repeat what Lisa just said. Our friend Eden Radliff, who is a manager at a community that saw a $3.2 million embezzlement, he said, we aren't bound by previous bad decisions. C.S. Lewis similarly said, we all want progress, and if you've taken the wrong route, the most progress-forward thing to do is to do an about-turn. So you've inherited some good decisions and some bad decisions, some that are maybe educational, and you need the courage to say, yep, that didn't work, we're gonna do an about face. You're not bound by previous bad decisions. And wow, you have the perfect opportunity because the slate is clean. You get to choose what you're taking into this new city. So choose wisely. We aren't bound by previous bad decisions. Next, embrace hard conversations early. Peter Bromberg said, when we avoid difficult conversations, we trade short-term discomfort for long-term dysfunction. When we avoid difficult conversations, we trade short-term discomfort for long-term dysfunction. Hard conversations are cheaper than lawsuits. They're cheaper than resignations. They're cheaper than quietly poisoning your workplace. So embrace having hard conversations early, especially amongst you all. Next, a small city, city of Corey. They have a councilman, I'm not sure, named Bill Roach. He told me, go hard on the issues, but easy on the people. Another way of saying it might be, argue like you're right and listen like you're wrong. I would say that when you go with the flow, you end up in the sewer. So I'm definitely not saying to be quiet. I think you ought to state your opinion. But at the same time, you should be going easy on people. The fellow people that you're serving with, the employees, the public, they're all humans. And by the way, they make mistakes. But you can go easy on them while still going hard on the issues. Disagree, then commit. So this is a Jeff Bezos quote, not a statesman, but I'm kind of adopting it as one of my own because I realized early on when I was a commissioner, what was happening is we would take a 2 to 3 vote on something, and then the third person would refuse to sign the contract or something like that, and they would work actively to make that fail. And so what I'm encouraging you to do is be a team player. Again, go hard on the issue, voice your opinion, but once you're overruled, row in the same direction, sign the proclamation, work to make sure that the community actually accepts what you didn't think was best. And give it a try. You should debate like adults before the vote, and then row the boat in the same direction after. Disagree, then commit. Number 10, leadership is solving problems. When I was at the U.S. Army War College, Colin Powell told us, the day soldiers stop bringing you their problems is the day that you've stopped leading them. They have either lost confidence that you can help or concluded that you don't care. And in either case, you have failed as a leader. I'll repeat it again. The day soldiers stop bringing you their problems is the day you've stopped leading them. They have either lost confidence that you can help or concluded that you don't care. In either case is a failure of leadership. Leadership is about solving problems, and so one of the marks will be if the manager and or employees are not bringing you problems, it's because you're checked out or they don't think you care. Leadership is solving problems. Next is protect your employees, and this is one of ours, because the communities that we work in, we've seen countless times people drugged through the mud and workplace culture destroyed because the elected officials don't do a good job of protecting their employees from the public and or themselves. So that we've seen just as many toxic people on council or supervisors as in the public. And so I think one of the most damaging things that can happen is if your employees are getting attacked in public meetings, for instance, or drugged through the mud on social media. You shouldn't stand for that. So definitely don't call out your employees in public meetings. Do your homework first, ask questions. You need to be a buffer from the chaos and help filter the noise. The other thing related to this is that it's easy to have your own whims and or the whims of the public that's brought up and try to direct staff to do too much. Stick to your annual strategic action plan and protect your employees in that way. And last is not at all a statesman, but it's one of your locals. I was eating dinner at Buck's Pizza, and they made a mistake. Nate Benton approached me, and first of all, went over the top, making it right. like removed the bill and then gave me gelato or something. I don't exactly remember what he did. But I was so taken by it that we struck up this conversation, and he said, your employees will make mistakes. The opportunity lies in how you use that mistake to wow your customer when you fix it. Mistakes are how you build relationship. So again, mistakes will happen, the employees will make mistakes, you will make mistakes. The cool thing is if you just own it and apologize and go over the top to make it right, it's actually an opportunity to be even stronger than you would have been. Mistakes are how you build relationships, so own them and move on. That's it. I hope that's helpful.
Any comments on Ben's proclamation?
I liked it.
Dick?
I liked it.
I liked it.
I liked it.
Very good. I think one of the things I like is when you have to say no, try to figure out how to make it a yes.
And I want to mention Ben has several books out that are quite good.
There you go. Good, Sam. Thank you very much for pointing that out.
Thank you.
If you buy one, he'll sign it, right?
Yeah, happy to sign my books, yeah.
Before we move into public comments, I'd like to ask Scott, do you have anything you would like to say?
Yeah, congratulations, new councilman, looking forward to new year, and I just wanted to extend out to all my guys that have been plowing their asses off all through the holidays and everything, trying to keep the roads safe for everybody. Hats off to my crews, they've been doing a great job.
Any comments from Scott? One of the comments I will make is, prior to our meeting at the Rights Theater, the crew was there for 2+ hours.
About 2.5 hours.
And they just did a marvelous job. They cleaned the sidewalks, they cleaned in between meters, they marked off spots where to park. I was duly impressed. If you would please pass that along to them.
I'll pass that along, thank you.
Thank you very much. You're up, Zach.
Well, congratulations, welcome everybody, and look forward to a new beginning.
Any comments for Zach? Ladies and gentlemen, this might be the first and only time I've ever seen Zach in a shirt and tie. He looks like a handsome man there. Yep. Dave, you're up.
I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to moving the city forward in a positive direction, and I think that this meeting was a good head start. I have a good feeling. So, congratulations.
Thank you. Anything for Dave from the council? Thank you very much. We're going to move into public comments. A couple things for what it's worth for today. If you would like to speak, would you please stand, state your name, your address, speak your mind. If you speak to us in a proper tone, we'll get along handsomely. Thank you. Anybody would like to speak? You're on. No.
I'm gonna wait until Wednesday.
You're waiting till Wednesday. Thank you. Anybody else? There we go. Board member comments. Dick, you're up.
Looking forward to the new adventure.
Thank you. Mark?
You
How
skipped
about
Sam.
No, I didn't. You're up.
Who? Me?
Yeah,
You must
and your
be
name,
going
Mark?
every other person.
Yeah.
I'm right on board with Dick. Looking forward to the new adventure. I hope, not hope, I know we will all work well together.
Mike?
The people who voted for us want something. They want local government, okay, to recognize, excuse me, please, our responsibility, and we need to know where our limits are. We know where to get our answers. Him, and them. And we don't want to disappoint them. There wasn't a person elected here who did not receive votes that people thought about. Whether they liked your name or not, they voted for us, feeling that we could have confidence in us doing it. And we have that obligation. And those 12 points can well help that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sam?
Yeah, I look forward to working with everyone, and I'm excited about the coming years, and let's get at it, and let's get these early meetings done. Hopefully, things might get a little easier after we get through January.
Thank you, Sam. Bill?
I just want to thank everybody. I think today was phenomenal for our community moving forward. And I think it's going to be a great thing moving forward. And I think we have a good set council that we have to keep communicating. And like Ben said, you know, you've got to communicate. If you don't communicate, it's going to fall through and through. But I feel too that we have a clean slate. It's like building a house. We've got the foundation. We got to make sure that foundation don't have no cracks, because it's the beginning. Let's get it solid, and we can build a nice, beautiful community that's with good paying jobs moving forward. And I just want to thank all the employees. Great job.
Thank you, Bill. Charlotte?
Thank you to everyone that voted to give me the opportunity to sit here. I'm grateful, honored, humbled. I'm excited to be back, but in a different capacity. And I look forward to working with these gentlemen. I think together we are going to do some pretty great things for our city moving forward. And just thank you.
Barrett, thank you very much for the confidence that you showed to me, electing me as your mayor for the new city of Dubois. I appreciate that, and I hope I rise to the challenge. I know there's a certain lady that sits in the audience. If I screw up, she's gonna tell me. And I'm not gonna mention any names, that she might have a blue coat on, but she will keep me honest and upright, and I will try to do everything in my power to keep us headed in the right direction, in the proper direction. I think, as Bill just said, we have the makings of an outstanding council, and I think it has shown over time that we will come to an understanding that, as Ben said, if the election of a resolution doesn't go our way, we move on, we get over it, move to the next topic. With that being said, thank you very much. See you Wednesday. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Accidents happen when you least expect them. If you're ever in one, remember 3 simple steps.
Check for injuries. Call the police. Then call Cataldo's Collision.
Because Cataldo's Collision isn't just any body shop, they're auto body specialists.
At Cataldo's Collision, they work for you, not the insurance company.
From certified technicians to pickup and delivery service, they use modern technology to get you back on the road fast, with your car restored to like new.
Cataldo's Collision in Dubois. When it matters most, they do magic.